Respected dignitaries and dear colleagues, good morning everybody. This session on money management for anesthesiologists is under the guidelines of Indian Society of Anesthesia Financial Advisory Forum, a group of anesthesiologists only, advising about financial aspects for the benefits of the society. This session, Money Management of Anesthesiologists, is in three parts. I'll start with the first one, that is 3 mega myths in money management. About myself, Dr. Rajnikant Gajjar. I passed my MD in anesthesia in 1988. I also passed NISM Level 1 Investment Advisory Exam, also NISM Retirement Planner Exam. NISM stands for National Institute of Securities Market. It is a semi-recognized institute for certifications in personal finance and capital markets. I usually write on my blog rkhgajjar.wordpress.com. I usually write about personal finance. I belong to Bharuch, Gujarat, where Statue of Unity is located. Mega myths in money management. I start with the definitions. Myths mean widely held beliefs or concepts for decades together, but basically they are false or misleading or misguided. So in simple words, myths mean mega misunderstandings. Another word is personal finance. Personal finance is personal money management. I identify this personal finance with an acronym, SPIL, SPIIL. Here the first letter S stands for saving strategy, second T stands for taxation planning, third I stands for insurance management, another I stands for investment planning, and last L stands for loans management. So a person with sound and prudent knowledge in personal finance has a saving strategy that helps him to reach his financial goals of life. He has adequate knowledge in taxation, which enables to reduce his taxation burden. He is prudent enough to have adequate enough insurance at lowest cost. And a person with prudent knowledge in personal finance develops and devises his investment planning in such a way that his life's all financial goals are well fulfilled. And naturally, a person with sound knowledge in personal finance is able to manage his loans, liabilities in a prudent manner. Now, about the mega myths. The list is big enough, but because our attention span is small and short, I'll restrict myself to only 3 mega myths. I'll list them one by one. The first one is, as I know how to earn, and I do earn well also, so naturally I know how to manage money for today and tomorrow as well. Second mega myth is, as I earn a lot, I am definitely going to be rich. Third mega myth is, as I have lots of money, money can buy anything and everything. With my money, I will easily buy consultancy or advice in personal finance. As simple as that. Dear colleagues, it is not what the faculty or speaker knows about his subject, but what the audience learns and retains when the session ends or when they leave the conference. That is more important. So I will re-emphasize my myths in another words. Listen, I am doctor. I know money management well. That is first mega myth. Second is, I am doctor. I'll be automatically rich. That is second mega myth. I am doctor. My money will buy money management. That is third mega myth. Let us crack this mega myths in money management today. Dear colleagues, believe me, I am also one of you. At one stage of my life, I also held these mega myths in my mind, but I got rid of this. Fortunately, I got rid of these mega myths early in my career. Today, I request and I wish that all of you crack these mega myths, develop the right understandings, and start your journey, your investment journey to financial independence, that is to be rich as early as possible. Now we go with the myths one by one. The first one is, as I know how to earn money, I know how to manage money. We have learned anesthesia, but we have not learned management skills, money management skills. The way anesthesia has definite knowledge domain, personal finance also has definite knowledge domain. There are subjects like financial mathematics, financial planning, risk management, that is insurance planning, goal-based investing, retirement planning, microeconomics, macroeconomics, behavioral economics, business management, and many more. But most vital and important amongst all this is time value of money. This is a concept in financial mathematics. Dr. Arun Mehra, the second speaker, will address this issue. Please listen him and develop the right understandings about time value of money. Now, don't get discouraged that we have not learned these skills. And usually, these money management skills are never taught at any level till one gets the knowledge of the skill sets to earn the money, and one usually learns it on its own by doing the mistakes and suffering the losses. There is no need to remember the formulas or to read the used textbooks. What we need to do is to explore the internet. There are so many learning portals and so many good financial calculators available online, free of cost. We need to explore them. We need to gather the information. We need to develop the knowledge and the wisdom for appropriate understandings in personal finance and correct concepts. With financial calculators, what we need or what we should know is how to define the inputs, how to interpret the outputs, how to use the variables in inputs for the desired outputs, or how to modify the inputs to get our desired output. This is all that is required with the financial calculators. Dear colleagues, believe me, I am one of you. If we can become anesthesia specialist, this is definitely not a rocket science. So this takes care of the first myth. We have learned anesthesia, we have not learned money management skills. We know how to earn, but we have to learn. We know how to earn money, but we have to learn how to manage money. Second mega myth. We have lived with an age-old formula. Whatever is our income, expenses are subtracted. Whatever is left is savings. This is age-old formula that is usually followed. But it is not the quantum or amount of the money that one earns, but it is what one retains that determines one's richness quotient. To emphasize my ideas, I read out the words of Warren Buffett, Oracle of Omaha, an investment guru known world over. He says, it is retention of the earned corpus and its right direction for its growth that decides one's richness quotient. Mark his words, he is not specifying the amount or quantum of the earnings, but he identifies the retention of the earned corpus. And second, its right direction for growth. That is how that money is invested, how it grows. These two issues will decide your richness quotient. So how do? We change our mindset. We change the old formula. Whatever is our income, first we take care of savings according to our savings strategy, according to our personal financial goals of our life. So out of income, first saving takes the precedence and whatever is left is expenses. So we have to change our mindset. Because I earn a lot, because I am a doctor, I am not automatically going to be a rich. I have to change my mindset. I have to change the formula. Income minus expenses is equal to savings to new age formula. Income minus savings is equal to expenses. This takes care of second mega myth. Third one is, we believe we have lots of money. We'll pay somebody, chartered accountant, investment advisor, or anybody, and they will advise us and we'll follow it and we'll become rich. But dear colleagues, believe me, financial services and capital markets follow jungle laws of survival. Every animal, we ourselves need to save our skin. Because whatever personal finance products, investments, capital markets, shares, mutual funds, that is recommended to us, sold to us, or pushed to us, usually have inbuilt incentives or commissions for the person who recommends it, who pushes it, or who sells it to us. There is always a conflict of interest. And many times it happens that such products are recommended with an intention that it benefits more to the advisor or consultant rather than to us, the customer. What we need to do, we need to be well read, well informed, and well prepared. Mukesh Ambani does not need to be specialist or expert or master in telecommunications, information technology, retail marketing, refinery, or petrochemicals. But he definitely needs to be well read, well informed, and well prepared to appreciate the appropriateness of the advice or consultancies given to him by his team, so that he can decide which one is more appropriate for his company's net worth, value, its shareholders, its investors, and himself going forward in decades. This is like buying a multi-parameter. We did not have a knowledge of a service engineer, but we must know which is good for us, our patients, our hospital going forward in decades. So to get rid of this mega myth, one must be well informed to evaluate and identify the most appropriate quotes for oneself from the options offered by the consultants or advisors. Yes, colleagues, money can buy advice, money can buy consultancy, but money cannot buy the knowledge, wisdom that will help you to decide the appropriateness of the consultancy or the advice offered to you. This takes care of the third mechanism. Now I'm into the second half of my presentation. I'll run a 2-minute short video of Shiv Khera on personal finance and financial independence. Dear colleagues, being rich right way may be a tough job, but it is definitely worth pursuing.
Many times when we do our programs, we do talk about financial independence. And people come up and say, Mr. Khera, money is not important. And besides, money can't get you happiness. And besides, money is the root of all evils. Well, let's take one at a time. Who are the people who say money is not important? In my opinion, either they are stupid or they are billionaires. Look, I didn't say money is the most important thing, but money is very important because I learned one thing in my life, that money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. Now, let's look at the second part. You said money does not get you happiness. Well, let me ask you, does poverty get you happiness? Well, if I have to be unhappy, I would rather be unhappy with money than without money. Now, let's talk of, you said money is the root of all evils. Well, I don't think so. Money is only a medium of exchange. Money is a reward you give me when I provide you with goods and services. Now, the more goods and services I provide you, the more you reward me with money. What's wrong with that? Folks, money is wonderful. Keep in mind, money is food for the hungry. Money is medicine for the sick. Money is home for the homeless. Money is clothing for the needy. Money is wonderful. Look, it is not money that is the root of all evils. It is the love of money that is the root of all evils. Loving money using people, you got it wrong. Loving people using money, you got it right. Now, the important thing is, when we talk of in the pursuit of money, many times we lose our values and ethics. That is why it is said, making money is criminal, but earning money is spiritual. Wages without work amounts to stealing, so we need to earn money in an ethical manner. Now, sadly, many
Dear colleagues, earning money is definitely spiritual. We must start this journey as early as possible and we must reach as far as possible. I'll read out another quote from J.L. Collins, another authority in personal finance. He says, understanding money is critical. If you choose to master it, money becomes wonderful servant. If you don't, it will surely master you. Money can buy many things, none of which is more important than your financial independence. Way back when in 1985 I joined anesthesia, I was told anesthesia is a dependent branch. 36 years have passed to it. Whether that statement was true or false is a debatable issue. But we as anesthesiologists must have a dream. From day one of our earnings, we must strive to become financially independent as early as possible. Dear colleagues, financial independence changes your life in anesthesia practice immensely. It takes away immense stress from your life. It definitely adds years to your life. Your compulsion goes away, choice gets in. You have a choice to decide with whom to work, how long to work, where to work, when to work, and with and what and which job to do. So basically, whenever compulsion goes away and choice gets in, that is financial independence, and it is definitely achievable. simply develop a PDF mindset, another acronym. Here, P stands for patience for compounding of investments to work. D stands for discipline, dedication to achieve the financial independence. And F stands for firm faith in the positive outcomes. So start this journey, have patience, let compounding take effect, let your investment grow, have continuous discipline and continuous dedication to achieve the financial independence, and have faith, positive outcomes, financial independence is definitely achievable. In ending my session, I'll advise you to listen to Dr. Kumaresh sir. He'll guide you about this investment journey to financial independence in his last lecture. Before I end my session, I repeat my blog address rkhgajjar.wordpress.com. I usually write about personal finance, financial independence, retirement planning. I write purely for my personal pleasure with no business or commercial angles or no vested interests. Whatever I have written, if it is explored by my colleagues, if it is of some benefit or some use to my colleagues on their journey to financial independence, it will be a matter of pleasure for me. To end my session, I'll again run a 30-second short video of Shiv Khera. He advises us to become rich enough, have money in good hands, and do wonderful things.
Money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. Well, become a multimillionaire and do good.
So I thank you all once again. This ends my session. Because I am doctor, I know how to manage money. It is a myth. We have to develop the knowledge set and develop the understandings. Because I am doctor, I am going to be rich automatically. That is a myth. We have to manage our earned money in a well manner to become rich. Because I am doctor, I can pay somebody and somebody will advise me. That is a myth. We have to develop the wisdom to appreciate the appropriateness of the advice given to us. Dear colleagues, becoming rich is a job which can never be outsourced. We have to do it ourselves. This ends my session. Thank you once again.